Well, it's high noon at Larry's Country Diner, and you're just in time for the fun, food, and music, and you never know what gossip you might overhear. Right now, let's welcome the guy who wears the big apron around here. Meet Larry!
Whoa! At least you didn't say meaty Larry.
No.
Kind of have expect. You know what I didn't do? Last time we were together, I didn't do a promise. Well, thank you, Renee. I didn't do a promise. So today, we get two promises. Okay. The mercy of the Lord is in the heavens, and thy faithfulness reacheth unto the clouds. And the living God giveth us richly all things to enjoy. So we got double promises today. All right. The year that we are looking at today is 1941. Your house was worth $4,075 in 1941. Your average income is $1,777 per year. And a movie ticket, 30 cents. Doesn't say what popcorn was. On the radio, you swing and sway with Sammy Kaye, the Dorseys, Glenn Miller, and Guy Lombardo, and you laugh along with the great Gildersleeve. That's, of course, after we do the bumper and get into the show. It was the Kraft Show. And there was the great Gildersleeve himself right there. You also saw Citizen Kane. I feel like David Letterman throwing stuff now. Citizen Kane was a movie you were watching, and Sergeant York. We also had the introduction of Bugs Bunny. An appearance of a brand new cereal came out. I did not know this. The cereal was called Cheerios. We call it Cheerios. When it came out, it was Cheery Oats, O-A-T-S. I just thought you'd be interested in that. Meanwhile, radio programmers began a 10-month ban on all songs from the ASCAP catalog. 1941. That meant that DJs could only play songs from BMI, which were deemed to be hillbilly records. Fortuitous, I guess, for the country music industry. Top country hits that year were Be Honest With Me by Roy Acuff. Oh, it was also Be Honest With Me by Gene Autry, Be Honest With Me by Red Foley, and I almost forgot Be Honest With Me by Jimmy Wakely. Those were all four out. Sons of the Pioneers had Cool Water. Bob Wills had Little Liza Jane before Vince Gill had it out. Bob Wills had it out. And this great song, we featured him just a week ago, Walking the Floor Over You, Ernest Tubb. It was a great year for births. Bobby Goldsboro, Henson Cargill, Johnny Paycheck, Connie Smith, David Frizzell, and someone who dropped by today was born in 1941, unless I have it wrong, Charlie McCoy.
Hey,
Were you born in 41, man? It's good to see you.
Hey, good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
This guy is going into the Country Music Hall of Fame this year, Keith?
He's already there. He's been
Already been inducted to everything?
Officially.
Yep. It's official.
Whoa. Now, I almost said most of people, and that's probably not true. It's not most people don't know who you are, but a lot of people don't know who you are because you have been a harmonica player for everybody's record since when? Dirt?
First session, yes. I came over on the Mayflower.
That's right.
No, I did my first session in 1961.
And who was that?
It was with a young new artist from Sweden called Anne Margaret.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Wow. Who have been some of the more memorable ones?
Well, I mean, there's been many, of course, Johnny Cash,
Yeah.
Loretta, Conway.
But it's not just the country field.
No, it's got to work with Elvis, Simon and Garfunkel, Bob Dylan,
Wow.
and many artists from overseas.
No kidding. That's incredible. Because you don't think in terms of, or I don't think in terms of the harmonica being a staple of any of the music industries. And yet it must be.
I guess the timing was just right.
I love it. Well, we're going to get you to play some for us. Before we do that, I've got something I want to air, and it is, oh, you worked with Chet Atkins.
I did, yes. Chet was the first producer that ever hired me to play on a record, and that was the Ann Margaret record.
My goodness.
Yeah.
How was he to work with?
Amazing. He had very little to say, and you know, he hired musicians he trusted and let them go.
And let him do it.
Yeah.
We had Chet Atkins. I was, when we were doing Country's Family Reunion, Bill Carlisle called me one night. He said, Larry, do you want Chet Atkins? And I said, we've tried to get Chet Atkins on the shows for the last several years. He was coming out of the stroke, and he was playing the guitars again. And he said, well, he's having a bowl of ice cream right now. He'll call you in 20 minutes. I said, fine. The phone rang. I picked up the telephone, and I said, this is Larry Black. He said, it's Chet Atkins. Bill tells me I can come to the show tomorrow. And I said, we'd love to have you.
Sure.
Love to have you. Show up. So he showed up. Bobby Bear was there. The Whites were there. Several acts that he had produced were all there that day. And he came in and sat down and had his guitar. And when we broke for lunch, he was there. We taped 2 segments, and in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. And after we broke for lunch, the gentleman that was with him, may have been his brother, I don't know, but came to me and said, after lunch, I think Chet will leave. And I said, great, man, fine. But I appreciate having him here. Chet came to me, and he said, on the way back in, he said, if I stay, can I sing? I'm going, well, I didn't know Chet Atkins sung, man. And I said, sure, you can do anything you want to do. Let's look at that. Chet Atkins singing, I Still Write Your Name in the Snow.
Write your name in the snow. Do we have a band on this? I thought we did. I'm almost sorry now I caught you messing around, 'cause you packed up your pickup, boogied out of town. Well, darling, I'd like for you to know that I still write your name in the snow. When the snowflakes fall, I think of you. I think of you and have to settle down. Do you think of me when you're feeling low and wish you could write my name? There's more. I once had an inkling you'd come back again. I see now that I was only tinkling in the wind. You've hurt me more than you will ever know, and I still write your name in the snow. When the snowflakes fall, I guess I see the happy you and me that used to be. I write your name so beautifully, but it's hard to cross the I's and dot the T's. Do you think of me when you're feeling low and wish you could write my name in the snow? Son of a gun, I'm tired of living this way, hot a mighty damn.
Isn't that great?
But one of my great memories with Chet was, you know, for 4 or 5 years on Hee Haw, we did a segment called the $1 Million Band, and of course he was right in the middle of that, and it was an amazing musical segment with Boots Randolph, Floyd Kramer, Danny Davis, Johnny Gimbel, Jethro Burns, Roy Clark, and myself.
Did you for 20 years you were the music director at Hee Haw, right?
18.
18?
Yeah.
Hey, what, give or take 2
Yeah.
years? Yeah. Well, get Sam Lavello to send you 2 years worth of checks, and we'll call it 20.
There you go.
Did you enjoy that?
I loved
Hee
it.
Haw?
You know, when he first called me to do it, I was working so many sessions that I thought it was a big conflict. I said, man, I don't know if I have time to do this. He said, well, come on down and try it. I said, I'll try one season, you know. I had so much fun. I decided to try another one. After 18 years, I was still trying.
That's fun. You going to play a song for us?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to.
Why don't we, Sheriff, you got your guitar?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, the
Let's do
sheriff,
one.
of my favorite musicians right here.
Well, you know, we told the story the other day that he used to play at a club down the road until his G-string broke. And then he ran for sheriff.
Okay.
You ain't gonna touch that one, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Get your harmonica.
Okay.
Charlie McCoy.
Which one you want?
You know,
Did you choose the right key?
I hope so. You know, a little unknown trivia about me. I was born in the same town where Hank Williams took his last breath, Oak
Wow.
Hill, West Virginia. And so I have a real affection for Hank Williams music. And I think I'd like to play my favorite Hank Williams song,
And it is
Cold, Cold Heart.
Cold, Cold Heart. Here's Charlie McCoy. Charlie McCoy. Come back over here, Charlie. All right, I keep mentioning the Country's Family Reunion. We had Don Helms
Oh, yeah.
just before he passed away. And he played that on the steel guitar that he played with the Drifting Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh, Don was great.
What
Fantastic.
an absolute man. That is so reminiscent. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Keith?
Speaking of Chet Atkins, look at that menu. We've got Chet's Chitlins right here at Larry's Country Diner. You can have my share, Larry. We'll be right back. Well, as a public service, once again, we present our wanted poster, and this time we've got Asher Black, a cereal with a C killer, the Cheerios Kid. It's also a way to work Larry's grandkids into the show, okay? Here's Larry Black.
It's my show. I get to do what I want to do. We were talking about Chet Atkins. Sheriff, you had, and we played a Jethro, Homer and Jethro piece. We're going to play another one in just a minute in one of the other shows. You were saying that Chet
and Jethro of Homer and Jethro married twin sisters.
Just drop it anywhere.
Nice silver, huh?
Yeah, they married twin sisters, and they were brother-in-laws, I guess.
Chet told us a story that he and John D. Laudermilk
Yeah.
and their wives were on a cruise some years ago down in the Bahamas.
Yes.
When they were down there, they went out to one of the little clubs, and the musicians were playing. So he and John D. Laudermilk asked if they could sit in during the break. The guy said, yeah. So they sat in, they played some stuff. Next day on the ship, there was a big guy came up to Chet and said, you know, I was at that club last night, and I saw you and that other guy play. He said, you know, you're pretty good, but you ain't no Chet Atkins. He just let it go. He wasn't going to tell him. Let's take a look at that. You almost walked in front of my screen, Renee. Right there. Don't you go stand over there. We're going to roll a Jethro Burns, Homer and Jethro piece. This was on the Jimmy Dean Show, and it's How Much Is That Hound Dog in the Window?
How much is that hound dog in the window? I do hope that she's back. How much is that hound dog in the window? The one with the long mangy tail. I'll give you 2 bits for that hound dog. The one with a sad ache in the heart. For he looks so much like my girlfriend, I can't hardly tell them apart. Would you mind telling me what kind of a dog that was? Sort of a rundown hot dog. Sure mustered that up. I got it from Ralph. Give it back. How much is that hound dog in the window? With a basketball nose on its face. You know what a basketball nose is. It dribbles all over the place.
Homer and Jethro. That was on the Jimmy Dean Show, and a long time ago and in black and white. Did you ever work with him,
With
Homer and Jethro? Was that before your time?
no, I just worked with Jethro with the $1 Million Band on Hee Haw.
Okay. Yeah, you did say that. I should have remembered it, shouldn't I? Give us another song.
Oh, my heritage is Irish.
Okay.
My mother's name was Kelly, so McCoy and Kelly
And some Celtic music.
kind of gives me an Irish pedigree.
There you go.
So a few years ago, my wife and I went over to Ireland and we traveled around. I believe it's the most musical place in the world.
Wow.
There's music everywhere you go. And I was so inspired. I said, I've got to record an album of this music. And I found this amazing song. It's, a folk song. Nobody knows who wrote it. It's probably 1,000 years old, but it's one of the greatest songs I've ever heard. I want to do a little version of The Water is Wide.
The Water is Wide. Charlie McCoy.
3, 4.
There is something so soothing about that.
It's a great song. One of the best melodies I've ever heard.
Yeah, I was here a little bit ago in the diner, and there were some other people standing around when you were getting a mic check and all that, and everybody was talking. You started playing that, and a hush fell on the room.
Well, you know, music can either quieten people or it can start a riot.
Have you ever started a riot?
I probably have.
Now that's on. Is that on the Celtic Bridge?
Celtic Bridge.
Celtic?
Yeah. Celtic Bridge.
Well, it's got a C. I said Celtic.
Well, you know, I asked an Irish friend of mine, and he says, "No, we say Celtic."
So it's Celtic.
Yeah. So there were these 3 men, you know, that got captured by cannibals in Africa, and the chief asked the first one where he was from, and he said England, and they were going to make a stew. You know what cannibals do?
Uh-huh.
So he says in the stew, and he asked the second guy where he was from, and he said Scotland. He said in the stew, and he asked the third guy where are you from? He said Ireland. He said, get out of here. And the Englishman raises up and he said, why does he get to go? And the chief says, the last Irishman we put in the stew ate all the potatoes.
That's good. That's good. Adam, you here? Yeah, I'm here. I need to get you to write on a blackboard. You've got a website, I'll bet.
I do.
What is the website?
CharlieMcCoy.com.
Well, golly.
Yeah.
Charlie McCoy, www.charliemccoy.com, and they can get these items there?
Yeah, these are 4 of my 35 albums.
My goodness.
EY or IE?
IE. Yeah. Yeah. The Classic Country Hymns is my newest. In fact, the sheriff played on that.
Did you?
Yeah. And but yeah, I've been very, very lucky. 35 albums, and I hope I'm still going.
How many musicians?
Oh yeah, I figured out that in my first 35 albums, counting musicians, background singers, and engineers, I have used 302 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Fantastic. All right, we're going to be back in just a minute. Get us out of here, Keith. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
I'm just checking out the nickel jukebox here. How about the Twist in the Lime by the Colas? Dedicated to the food I love, kitchen and mustard, and ketchup on your collar by the House Specials right here on the nickel jukebox. Larry's Classic Diner. We'll be back. Hot coffee, cold sweet tea, Larry's lemonade, and smoking harmonica. All features on Larry's Country Diner today. Larry?
Smoking hot what?
Smoking harmonica.
Smoking harmonica.
After my friend Mr. McCoy here.
Do you get... Oh, Lord.
Oh, trouble.
Here she is. Nadine.
Watch it.
What? Excuse
I'm
me?
upset today.
You're on what?
Smack you and tell God you died. Ooh, it's warm in here, ain't it?
Well, that's
Is it
because I'm
just
hot.
me? I don't know who told you that. Maybe Lou Ann did. Ooh, sweating like a prostitute in church. Well, my grandkids came over and they wrote bad words on this and had to tape it up to take it to church with me. I had to leave it alone there. I got to tell you, I just need something light again, just some water and something sweet, I guess. I started my exercise class, Renee. Did you? I did. I went over there and signed up. They told me, said, wear your loose-fitting clothes. I said, well, if I had loose-fitting clothes, I wouldn't be here. But, you know, it's amazing. I hang my clothes in the closet, and 2 or 3 months later, they've shrunk 2 or 3 sizes. I don't know what that is. Must be
Because you had breakfast.
Probably. You know what? But you know what? Skinny people are beginning to irritate me. Did they irritate you?
They do.
They irritate me to death.
Yeah.
Well, these people, especially when they say, I just forget to eat. You know, I can forget my mama's maiden name. I can forget my car keys, but I ain't never forgot to eat. That's just sick.
I don't think I
You gotta be
have
a
either.
special kind of stupid to forget to eat. By the way, that Charlie McCoy, you're a good harmonica player, and I love that kind of music. That's my husband and mine's favorite music. We played your album, Harpin' the Blues, at our 50th wedding anniversary.
Well, bless your heart.
Good.
Thank you.
Y'all didn't get that, did you?
Harping the blues. All right, I got it. I just got it.
Thank you, Larry. Yeah. Some people, we working with slow people here today.
To me, Nadine.
I will. All right,
Now,
Larry.
didn't you tell me something about Church of Christ churches that were putting up?
My second cousin removed. I think you say second cousin twice removed. I think that's how it goes. He got kicked out. They had to start putting metal detectors in that church because he was trying to bring in a harmonica. Yeah. They had metal detectors in that Church of Christ
Just to
church.
keep them out.
Mm-hmm, to keep them out. Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. I'm back again, Larry.
Yeah, what you complaining about today?
Same old, same old. I'm telling
Lucille.
you. This bulletin, this church bulletin, is
All
just
right.
about to drive me insane.
What's going on?
Well, here's the first one for this week. The sermon this morning, gossip, the speaking of evil. The closing song is, I love to tell the story. Now, I ain't going to say a whole lot about that because that's
Kind of
probably...
self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That probably hits me pretty close.
Yeah.
But the other one was, due to the pastor's illness, Wednesday's healing service will be discontinued until further notice. Now, I would think that, you know, the Lord would be there anyway, whether the pastor was sick or
That's
not.
right.
I'm telling you, if you gave her a penny for your thoughts, you'd get change back. I'm telling you.
Is that it, or you have another
No,
one?
I got one more, and this
All
is
right.
the worst.
All
I
right,
saved
lay
the
it on
worst
me.
till last.
Lay it on me.
Do you remember that Bertha Belch, that missionary from Africa that came and spoke?
Bertha Belch, yes.
Well, this is how she put it in a bulletin. Bertha Belch, a missionary from Africa, will be speaking tonight at Calvary Memorial Church. Come and hear Bertha Belch all the way from Africa. I tell you what, if that woman was any more dense, you'd have to water her twice a week. I'm just tired of it.
Eat your pie.
All right. I'll be quiet. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Nadine. All right. Well, we'll try to get Lucille straightened out. Hopefully we will. Did you ever sneak in a church with your harmonica?
Well, I never snuck in with it, but I have played quite a bit in church.
And your hymns album,
Yeah,
which is available on charliemccoy.com.
right. I have a brand new hymn album. It's called Classic Country Hymns.
Would you play something from that? You and our sheriff over here did our little theme song for Precious Memories for us.
Yep, that's
Would you
right.
play some of that?
Yeah, you bet.
All right, Precious Memories.
Okay.
We get the right harp. Charlie McCoy, Precious Memories.
We're right on top of it. 1, 2, 3, and.
that's hard not to sing along with.
Well, you should. You should.
What is some of this? Everybody has a story about recording sessions. What's the strangest recording session you've ever had?
I won't call any names, but I was on a session once where a guy was having a problem with his part, and he pulled out a whip. And he handed it to his associate, and his associate started hitting him, and he gave it back to him, and he started hitting his associate. And then he started hitting himself and screaming, "Out, devils!" And I was playing bass on the session, and I was watching all this, and I'm thinking, I'm not. There's no way I'm going to be a part of this. So my hand on my bass changed from this to this, and he looked over at me and he said, "How about you?" And I said, "I don't know about you, but I played the heck out of my part."
Did you ever get the session done?
Yeah.
That's intriguing.
Yeah, that's weird.
What you got, Keith?
Well, you know, Charlie can play so many instruments, but did you know he can play 2 instruments at once? I have witnessed him play the bass and trumpet at the same time. It's an amazing thing to see.
Okay, both of them have to be fingered.
Yeah, and he just does the trumpet with this hand and the bass with this hand.
Well, then who strums it?
Well, I don't know.
you
It's
just-
a little trick he knows, you know.
You just thump it?
Yeah, you thump it.
He's not in the Hall of Fame for nothing, you know.
Well,
in there.
I don't think I'm in the Hall of Fame for playing bass and trumpet.
Come witness the big thumper, Charlie McCoy.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, we're going to take a quick break right now, and then we'll be right back.
Here's
Get
one
us
of
out of here.
Nadine's favorites. How about Whisperin' Bill's Nanner Puddin'? Only at Larry's Country Diner. We'll be back. You're visiting Larry's Country Diner. Food, fun, and music. You can't beat that. Here's Larry.
Well, thank you, sir. Charlie, we were just talking during that break. Earlier, and it's only in Nashville, I think, that you write out charts as quick as everybody does here. You said you needed something to write on. I offered you a napkin, but we did have something other than a napkin to write on.
Hey, I've written on napkins before.
And you wrote out a chart,
Yeah.
which then the sheriff looked at and was able to play. But then you, just now, the next song you're going to do, you said give it the Monroe ending.
Bill Monroe ending. Everybody and every musician in Nashville knows the famous endings that Bill Monroe does. So when you say that, we all know what to play.
What are some of the other things? You mentioned a Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash, you're going to do a Johnny Cash, you're going to have a guitar player going dum ticka dum ticka dum ticka dum.
Yeah.
Floyd Kramer, you know, everybody knows what that
Yeah,
is.
the last date stuff.
Yeah, there's a piano style called Ivory Joe Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Ivory Joe Hunter was a great R&B artist, had a special piano style. A Ray Price shuffle, you know, we think of Crazy Arms. That's
Mm-hmm.
a Ray Price shuffle, you know. So yeah, it's pretty special, I think, when something like that, an artist gets something
Yeah.
like that named after him. That's pretty cool.
Because the other side of that, or one side of that, is that there are certain songs that you did Cold Cold Heart. Some of the Patsy Cline stuff. You hear the first lick, and you know what's coming.
Exactly. Yep.
And that's kind of, although I would think it's rare, man, it stands out like crazy in this town.
I think that's why those great records from that era are still being played.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. There was a great lady. I understand she and her husband at that point did a radio show in Knoxville. I think it was Knoxville. It may have been Atlanta. Martha Carson. She happened to be on one of the Country Family reunion things. She was dressed in a sequinedy blue outfit and did her Satisfied and was just absolutely charming. Let's take a look at it. Satisfied, Martha Carson.
That is why I'm satisfied. You ask me if I'm happy, if I have peace within. If I'm worried about tomorrow, when I'll reach my journey's end, well, I'm satisfied with my Jesus. When he knocks, I'll let him in. He'll go with me through the valley, for I know he is my friend. Satisfied, satisfied, satisfied. No trouble can ever get me down. For when my eyes are closed in death, with my Jesus I'll be at rest. Then you'll know I'm satisfied. Play one, boys. Now listen to this verse. If my friends, they all forsake me, and they turn me from their door, if they sow no seeds of kindness, make the thorns in my path grow, well, it won't matter over yonder when I reach that other side. For I'm gonna sit down by my Jesus, satisfied, 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 satisfied. No trouble can ever get me down. For when my eyes are closed in death, with my Jesus I'll be at rest. Then you'll know I'm satisfied. I've got that old time religion, got that old time religion. That is why I'm satisfied.
She passed away shortly after that. But boy, she was energetic that day.
You know, it reminds me, I recorded with Governor Jimmy Davis when he was 98 years old.
Really?
And I had just come back from Japan, and I said, Jimmy, just played in Japan, and we closed the show with You Are My Sunshine, and everybody sang along. He said, can you get me booked over there? True story.
Man, they just don't quit.
That's for sure.
And there's no reason to quit.
No, there's no reason.
No reason to quit at all. Do you ever think about retiring?
As long as I can play up to the standard of the man in the mirror,
Oh, yeah.
and he's a tough critic.
Yeah.
As long as I can please the man in the mirror, I'm going to play.
Wow, that's incredible. That is incredible. Let's get you to do another one.
All right.
Sure, it's good to have you here, Charlie.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here.
Man, you gonna play? Is this gonna be a 2 harmonica piece?
Yeah, this is 2. This is the act that I taught Johnny Cash. I played on his record in 1965, and after the session, he said, "Can you show me how to do that?" so I showed him how to do it and gave him the 2 harps I used on the session.
Oh wow!
And but anyway, since then, it's kind of become my signature song when I do concerts.
Ah, great.
Okay.
Have at it.
And 1, 2, 3.
All right. Charlie McCoy. You can go to the website, charliemccoy.com, and can we get a shot of that those CDs over there? He said, whirling around with his camera. I got them, I can handle this. Those are the CDs you can purchase when you go to charliemccoy.com. And how many albums did you say you had on there?
35.
35 of them.
Right.
They get a break if they buy all 35?
I'll make them a deal. You bet.
Send me a deal, right?
Yeah.
Well, boy, it's been so good to have you.
Larry, thank you so much.
Good, man.
Great to visit with you and see my good buddy, the sheriff, and say hey to old Keith back here.
Well, I'm glad he's still got a job. He's
Yeah,
lost
me too.
his, but he's still. We haven't talked about Keith losing his job, but it's, you know, hey.
A whole other story.
Well, that's another story.
Tips, folks.
He takes tips, he said.
Oh, okay.
But we got the sheriff working hard.
Absolutely.
And it's good to have you here, son.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing our Precious Memories thing, and even the bumpers, the thing that we call bumpers, going in and then coming out of. You played harmonica on that and did the whole thing, and it was just super. So it's time for us to get out of here. We will see you again in a while, Keith.
All right, thank you, Larry, and thank you for visiting Larry's Country Diner, where great food, friendly service, and outstanding music are always on the menu. Larry's Country Diner, where the cameras are always rolling and we don't care.